leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
Yo, big shout out to the hottest. Chatting the MF and game. A-Side official. No negotiation needed, period. You already know we live in 25. Salute to the first in the building, Big Bunts and Boxing. On deck, I see you. So what's good, man? Hope all is well with you and the fam. Salute to everyone else that may be inbound. You know how we do. We got to get down to it, man. We halfway through the first month of 2025, the first quarter. And a lot of inquiring minds want to know what's popping, what we have to look forward to, what are names at, can we hear something official, are they on paper? That's what they want to know about Spence versus Fundora. You know, we hear all the buzz and the chatter, but we don't know if it's something that we should take in consideration like it matter, or just some crickets out there making noise and shit. You know what I'm saying? In the heat of night. We trying to see, is it just more than hearsay? Look at this thumbnail right here. That's Fundora on fight night. He just finished beating Tim Tszyu. Errol Spence is not even in fight weight. And he still looks like a bit smaller than Fundora. A lot smaller than Fundora. A whole lot smaller than Fundora. Even his hand, I know Fundora has wraps on. Even his hand, we're going to get back to it though. I just wanted to come out the gate and wake up the aerosexuals that's been in dormant. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things be sleeping during the winter time. Not just bears, but those aerosexuals that was casted out, ostracized since July 29, 2023. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get to something, you know, and come back to this, okay? We're going to get back to it. I want to go to Turkey Al-Sheikh. He's been very, very active. Shout out to Big Turk. Big Turk at Ring Magazine is active, man, the way it used to be when I used to get the mags in the mail. I used to get the mags in the mail, bro. I got some vintage mags, boxing mags, man. Turkey has Ring back on deck, popping, relevancy, buzzing. You know what I'm saying? He put out, Ring Magazine say Turkey Al-Sheikh has named 5 fights he want to see. Okay? At the top of the list, this is what warms my heart because the haters, they still seething. They're gnawing off their own fingers because they such haters. They can't stop the madness just like they couldn't stop the ass whooping Crawford put on Spence. The first of the top of these 5 fights is Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford. Now, don't come over here if you're mad because I keep on, reiterating. You know what I'm saying? Speaking on this, reciprocating it, remediating it. You know what I'm saying? All these synonyms. Because too many people out here just trying to phase out the man just based off not liking him. But Turk has changed the game in boxing. No matter what these cats want to say, Turkey is changing the game. People have spoken too long on how boxing is a business first. And then they was complaining about us not seeing the fights that make sense for the business of boxing. Why? because the money wasn't able to be within the budget. You know what I'm saying? Oh, boxing is a business. Boxing is a business. Depending on who you talk to, they will tell you straight up. They will speak on a fight as if they want it. But if their favorite fighter's in there and they feel like it's not a 50-50 and it's a dangerous fight, they'll speak on it lightly. But they really don't want to see the fight. But they're busy talking about numbers, pay-per-view, what they did at the gate and all that. Man, I'm glad Turkey is basically have came in and allow his presence to be known, felt, and seen. Because, we've been going off a steady language over here. The same bullshit ass narrative's too long, bro. Now it's gotten real because you have someone from a different country that has said that they're into boxing for all the right reasons. I mean, we're talking about a grand shift in power, leverage. Oh my God. If the US boxing fans was freaking dissatisfied before, they're definitely going to be dissatisfied now, because we had decades upon decades upon decades to get it right over here. And now that's not the case. Even the boxing networks that was over here in the US, done. You have US media talking about ESPN potentially leaving Top Rank. And I say to myself, dang, Deontay Wilder's situation ain't that bad now, because they was busy up here talking the heavyweight division out of existence. We have when I say no close contenders to earning a title in the heavyweight division, done. Now, the networks over here, it's like US boxing is about to change forever, bro. All this language, this sidebar conversations of hate and disdain for fighters and can't get this fight, the best is bullshit. It's been bullshit for a while, because they really just wanted their fighter to fight whoever they wanted so they can damn raise them up and give them plaudits. You know what I'm saying? Clap it up behind the scene. Overemphasize how they're doing such a great job. Degrading the other fighter, all because of bogus, fabricated pay-per-view numbers and the gate. That shit has changed, bro. That shit is MF and change. You're gonna see the regret on their MF and face, bro. US boxing is looking crazy right now. They busy up here for the longest of time. Didn't care about their heavyweight champion. He's gone. Then now you have to think about the networks and the promoters. Still in existence, but affiliated with Riyadh season. Boxers themselves, they may see it as a plus. The reason why is the money seems to be a little bit more comfortable for contractual reasons when these fighters are going to the table. Because I'm gonna be honest, I haven't heard too many fighters that was attending Riyadh season be on here complaining, debating, talking about what isn't right, being stabbed in the back. You remember when Eubanks said that about Frank Warren? I mean, Chris Eubanks Jr. went in on every freaking promoter that was over there across the pond. He did it dirty. Now he has hope. Because the man that's making all the moves, that has the budget, that's the overseer, the grand poobah, I'm talking about, if you want to talk about the president of boxing, damn near Turki al-Sheikh is that without it being regulated. You have stragglers out here that's still talking about certain individuals that haven't been seen for years. And they still hoping and wishing that that particular individual somehow make another a resurgence of something later on. You can't do that. You can't match the money. You can't match it. Yeah, you can put on some boxing matches, boxing bouts and cars and all that, but you can't really match what Turkey has going on right now. This dude is shaking it up. And the US is in trouble when it comes to the control, shit that y'all used to take for granted. Let's say we. I'm over here too. We. It's an uneasiness that is settled in this funk that we in right now. Just like those Palisades, fires that's over there. Hope everybody, prayers to them. A lot of a lot of expensive home was burned. Just total mayhem and chaos over there, bro. I kind of see that going on here when it comes to boxing, especially in the US side of things. We've been playing around with the matches for a long time, burning down fights with criticism. I'm not lying. It's been arsonists over here burning down fights for I don't know how long. Didn't really appreciate the amount of fighters or the type of fighters that we had over here in the US. Didn't appreciate the promoters that the fighters were assigned to. They wanted to say in-house, in-house, in-house. Well, goddamn it, what about in the sandbox now? In country? What about Riyadh season? How are you going to change this? I'm glad Turkey Al-Sheikh took it out of our control. I'm glad, because you kind of get extremely bored. You know what I'm saying? It's a tedious situation. Listen to the same storylines over and over again. And now you have people actually trying to be patriots. They feel like it's a such thing as boxing patriots. They all of a sudden want to unionize the American boxing public because Turkey Al-Sheikh has came and took over. Now they want to act like, oh, let's be a union now. No, that's over. I'm glad. Because you get tired of hearing all the negativity. You get tired of, these media voices scrutinize a fighter, calling them bums, trash, stab them in the back over every small little thing. Fighters who are at the top of the chain of command are getting criticized for doing what they supposed to get to that point, right? It's over. Boxing isn't over. But if you feel the murmurs, right, you might want to go purchase a pacemaker, because this is going to hit your heart a little bit different in the next several years. The changes that Turkey Al-Sheikh has made and the people that he's attached to is at the right time. Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford is the biggest fight that people want to see in boxing. Whether people wanted to acknowledge, I'm not here to try to basically have an overall consensus, a united consensus worldwide, because worldwide doesn't support the sport of boxing. I'm not trying to say within the community, because I'm not able to get a petition together of individuals that are looking to say, okay, which fight do you rate out of the 5 on the thumbnail as being the top fight that you want to see in 2025? I can't do that. It's impossible. So it's easy for people just to chat it up and blindly speak on information that's not true. They'll speak on and try to talk it up, but that's just their own opinion. They'll say everybody. If you ask anyone, all, they'll falsely try to encompass everybody to say everybody would like to see Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois too over anything. Everybody would like to see Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. Everybody would like to see Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney instead of Crawford Alvarez. Everybody would like to see Eubank Conor. You know what I'm saying? It's false. It's rhetoric, and it's been here for quite some time. Now, something else is really going to break people's little bitty hearts is the fact that in London, we seen open workout. We seen Devin Haney over there have an opportunity to have FaceTime with the UK fans. Seemed like they was digging it. You know what I'm saying? Seemed like they was digging it. I think it was a good move. I heard some content creators saying he was clout chasing. I say, how can a dude be clout chasing? I mean, how can it be clout over there in the UK for a fan base that you really don't know in its totality of how many people really rock with you heavy across the pond? So how can it be clout chasing? See, that's why I'm happy. I'm extremely excited that Turkey Al-Sheikh is taking over, because pretty much it relieves a lot of these individuals of what they thought they had. They thought they had the power. They keep on associating themselves with certain people that was over here in these promotional companies and saying that my sources and linking up this, that, and the other. Yeah. That's gone. That's burned down. That's absolved. Who do you have over there in Riyadh season? How many of you all how many of y'all have hit Showbiz up and pleading with him just to get you, in the cargo department? Please, Showbiz, please, can you get me the schedule? I'll sleep in the wheel well. I just want to be over there. They still over here pleading and begging for February 22nd so Showbiz can get them on a flight. They willing to goddamn sleep in the wheel well, y'all, knowing damn well you're going to die. But just with hope that you can get over there just to brag and say, oh, y'all not leveling up like I am. Y'all not leveling up. He ain't the only one. I'm over here too. I'm over in Riyadh season. No. Things have changed, man. This one got crispy. I know y'all bubbling inside, boy. Look at this thumbnail right here. Canelo Alvarez meet with Turkey Al-Sheikh in London today. Who can Canelo Alvarez be over there speaking to the man? I heard these voices out here queefing once again. They was blowing hot air, smelled like farts on farts on farts, right? They was up here laughing when Errol Spence supposedly cop blocked Crawford. They was over here laughing when Canelo continued to say, oh, he's easy work, but I want 150 million. They was laughing when it seemed like Canelo had said that, no, Turk, I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do, not what he want to do, and this, that, and the other. And they was out here bragging about Canelo doing what he want to do. He the man with the plan. Well, he ain't over Turkey Al-Sheikh, bro. That sounds good for the media because they lie. They live to digest superficial. I mean, I wouldn't say superficial. I would say just below the surface type of information. You know what I'm saying? They love to go fishing for the minnows and say they caught a tuna. They was up there boosting up Canelo, telling Turkey Al-Sheikh what he's not going to do. But look who's over there in London. Look who's over there, boy. You better not ever. You better hope no news don't come out. They done came up with a number that suffice Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford, and that fight is announced in several weeks. I'm just going to sit back and cross my feet, twiddle my thumbs, and have that sneakish grin on my face. Yeah, let out my Marvel comic laugh, and I'm going to say, God damn it, say it ain't so that this fight may potentially be made. Tell me it ain't so that Canelo is over there in London trying to talk to the Turk to get those numbers right. Can somebody help me? Is that what's going on over there? Is it potentially the end of the road for these haters Because what you say can't stop the movement no more. We had our opportunity over here. Y'all took advantage of singing the same hook, same chorus, the same hymn note all the fucking time, bro. Now Turkey Al Sheik, he has the control. He has the gear shift. He has the motherfucking gear shift. He move how he want to move. When I move, you move. That's what Turkey's saying. When I move, you move. I think I think at the end of the day, it's gonna pinch and slap the shit out of a lot of these cats' anxiety levels. Real talk. All that faking that they used to do, saying who they know and all that, and all these numbers and what people don't. I don't hear these dudes complaining about being paid over there. All this in theater that we used to see over here in the YTC talking about boxing, man, bro. The hate for fighters who have achieved greatness is it goes without saying. It's no words that can truly express how disappointing a person can be that's a casual, listening to all the hate that goes on towards fighters who actually sit up there and put in the hard work, dedication, blood, sweat, and tears. You know, it's so many people who, just outside boxing, they're not even looking at the physicality of it. They're not looking at the achievements, the accolades. They're not looking at the medals, the championships. They're not looking at the resume, because the resume is never going to be up to par for a lot of these dudes who consider themselves to be scholars. It's never going to be right. But Turkey Al Sheik, it doesn't matter if you feel this right or not. He's not listening to you. He could give a damn about what you say. He's not listening no more, y'all. He's doing his own thing over there. Look, all this emotional labor that these motherfuckers have put in, like they actually changed the game. Man, the fights that's going to be on the big cards, like February 22nd, it's nothing none of y'all could do about it. If Crawford and Alvarez is up next, well, this is a telltale sign of good faith. You know what I'm saying? This is the star that you want to see that's shining. Communication. Turkey Al Sheik has too much money for Canelo to pass this up. They puppetize the media all the time. They puppetize us, right? The fans. They puppetize the fans all the time by acting one way, but behind the scenes, it's totally different. And Canelo, obviously being in London, is not by coincidence. It's not like he was going to the local clothing store, Dolce and Gabbana, and say, "Hey, who's that guy? That's Turkey. Oh, Turkey, I didn't know you shop Dolce. You shop Dolce too? Oh, wow. Sí, amigo. Okay, senor. Why are you here, Senor Canelo? Do you want to come to my office and talk? About what? Just want to run some numbers. I know I can make that fight between you and Crawford. I know I can. We're close. We're very close there, Canelo. Come on, get with your people. Call me around 1900, and let's set this up. No, that's not the way it went. Turkey Al Sheik is bringing people to the dance, goddammit. He already has their shoes, their whole ensemble laid out. People are coming in there stress-free. Not like when you used to go to shit over here. You got to deal with unnecessary drama, just a pathetic, pitiful, making it difficult. That's not Top Rank, though. Shout out to Top Rank. I got mad love for Top Rank. I'm not talking about Top Rank, goddammit. They let you motherfucking work. But what I'm saying is, you have people that's attending these events with Turkey Al Sheik, and they're coming over there with a lot less stress on their minds. They understand that they're gonna have the opportunity to go put whatever work that they're, able to put in over there. You know what I'm saying? They feel the focus. They're not digressing from their focus, thinking about something that really doesn't matter to the fight week. Like unnecessary people that want to try to browbeat you, or any other drama that we've seen so many times over here in the U.S. And I know a lot of media members over here are going to feel some type of way because some of the big fights may be in the sandbox. Well, you should have got in when I was in there. hey, yo. Hey, I hope Turkey Alley Sheik, I hope the business works itself out for Crawford Alvarez. I like seeing this information out there. I really do. I really like hearing it. That's out there with Canelo and Turk. Both of them have a smile on their face. It's enough conversation to be had between them that I believe they can come up with a resolution, a monetary resolution, for both fighters' purses. You know what? I think it's highly possible. And with that said, it's just, once again, you just have to sit back and laugh, at the haters that believe in that they actually have, some type of control in impeding the progress of some of the biggest fights in 2025 and 26. You don't have no motion, bro. You don't have the juice. Y'all don't have the juice. It's over. 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 Don't get mad and try to be a patriot and say, oh man, Turkey is doing this and he's going to take all the big fights. We've had our opportunity. The sport has never been regulated. So what you expect? You are seeing firsthand the sport not being regulated for decades. And now somebody dips in because WCS told you what? I put it out there. I said, hey, boxing operates off a tree of life that produces fruit. The bad thing about that tree is that you really don't have eyes on who's eating from that fruit. And look, and those individuals that's eating from a certain part of the tree, you really don't know what they have going on. Everybody is just focused on that part of their branch and how it extends out to benefit them. I told you, a non-regulated sport, no president. People just doing whatever they wanted to do in boxing. This sport operates off a system, and you are absolutely seeing firsthand how when you have an open-ended system, different turnstiles, different walks of life can come right in here if they have all the resources. All the resources to make some business moves that's conducive to the sport. When I say conducive, I'm talking about dealing with the top tier promoters, dealing with the fighters, and making these fights happen. Because in order for you to be a promoter, in order for you to be some type of manager, matchmaker, whatever, to make moves like Turkey Alley Sheik, you have to have the moolah, dinero, money, currency. You have to have the finances to make this shit happen. So, like I've said previously, it doesn't matter what the haters are talking about, because that value for which they're speaking on, it means nothing. It's like Bitcoin when it came out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it means nothing. Opinions are not based off facts, and God damn it, this is like you trying to use yen over here in the States. Your motherfucking opinions is like yen. It's like trying to use pesos over here now. Turkey Al Sheik is taking over, bro. And you got these same guys that's wondering what to do. Even though you might have contact with certain fighters over here, bro, it's done changed because some of the big fight cards is gonna require you, if not in the network of Turkey Al Sheik, it's gonna require you to dip into your own budget. And not everybody has access just to take that flight over to Saudi. I guess they trying to get their passport stamped now, huh? Real talk. I guess they trying to get their passport stamped. I still see, certain fighters like Spence and Fundora still looming on the horizon. But nobody doesn't know. Don't let the Alvarez Crawford fight come out. An announcement is made before Fundora Spence presser. I mean, we need something that's solid. You know what I mean? We need something that's solid. I love it. Let's go to an article right quick. Let's go to an article right quick. Let me share screen. All right. I know y'all don't want to listen to me talk about, that vapor rub into your eyelids. I get it. I get it. I know that's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. Turkey Al Sheik odds mega fights: Canelo versus Crawford, Joshua versus Fury, and more. Okay. And you're saying to yourself, why WCS? Why? Why? It's Saturday. Why do you choose to speak on this? We was just getting into the calmness, the peace, solace of 2025. And you're causing a ruckus. Turkey Al Sheik revealed the fights he wants to see happen in the sport. One of the top ones in terms of global appeal is Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Crawford at super middleweight. Of course, I need to let this be known. Chris Williams wrote this, and it's not necessarily saying he's a real person, but somebody on the alias. It proceeds. It's going to be a difficult fight for Turkey to put together in 2025 because the unified three-belt 168-pound champion Canelo has shown no interest in Crawford. The opportunity to fight him is understandably, though. Turkey wish list: Alvarez Crawford, Joshua Fury, Garcia Haney, Usyk Dubois 2, Eubank Ben. Of these fights, a Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney rematch would be appealing to a lot of fans worldwide. It might be the biggest fight in boxing that can be made. This is Chris Williams talking now. This may be the biggest fight in boxing that can be made. Preposterous. It says British promoter Eddie Hearns insists that Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury is the biggest one in the sport. It's not. There's no appeal to that old-timer fight. That fight is no longer interesting, and it was never a great one to begin with due to the lack of solid wins for the two British fighters during their careers. Now, I agree with that because I've said this before about Tyson Fury being awarded off the back of Deontay Wilder being placed as co-op fighter of the year with Teofimo Lopez from taking Wilder's belt in February 2020. Though Wilder was never afforded that opportunity to be awarded publicly by having him on a magazine with all the title defenses. But Fury, a drug cheat, he comes off a hiatus, and the only fighter to give him an opportunity worth notoriety and top-level status was Deontay Wilder, who didn't have to fight him after the draw, but he did anyway because He's a former unified champion who's been in there with Klitschko. Isn't that what they say? Isn't that like one of the routines in boxing? You fight a common opponent. Deontay Wilder never stepped in there with Vladimir Klitschko, but Tyson Fury did. And for Deontay, a bronze medal champion, Olympian, afforded Tyson Fury a second opportunity after the draw. It goes on to say, okay, they're just pampered, manufactured fighters, never the real thing. U.S. fans don't care about them, and they definitely don't have any interest in domestic level fight between Chris Eubanks and Conor Benn. Those two aren't world class and never were. Canelo versus Crawford. Canelo has nothing to gain from fighting a smaller, older fighter who fights 2 weight classes below him. Crawford would need to gain 14 pounds to make his first appearance at 168. This fight is just a vehicle for Crawford to get retirement money. Terrence looks old and woeful, bad in his debut at 154 against Israel Madrimov last August. Look, the good thing about reading extremely, biased, denigrating media is that it's just showing you that they're willing to wear the same suit over and over again when it comes to Crawford. It gets old, banal, to be honest with you. It's something that's totally outside. It's dated. Whenever this person writes an article on Crawford, it's never anything positive. You know what I'm saying? It's never anything positive. So I read it because it does have biasness to it. And, controversy seems to tap in to people's attention span a little bit quicker than positive. For real. They love hearing controversy about Crawford. It goes on to say the performance showed that Terrence isn't cut out of the junior middleweight division and would lose eventually if he took the risk of fighting the power punchers Bakram Murtazalayev and Sergey Buachuk and Virgil Ortiz. Those guys would knock some chips off Crawford, likely all beating him and ruining his useless Canelo retirement dream. Now, let me put this bit of evidence up. Let me introduce this bit of evidence. We can honestly say that when it comes to Bakram Murtazalayev, no one was looking for him. And we can honestly say before him, who had his belt? Jamel Charlo had the belts, right? No one was looking for Bakram Murtazalayev until Tim Tszyu stepped up and fought him, right? And we understand that Tim Tszyu, though with the conscious effort, showed courage, used a poor strategy to fight someone that he didn't care about, he overlooked, and he paid dearly for it. He was compensated immediately, Tim Tszyu. He was stopped. It was a poor strategy by him. Now, look, check this out. Now you have individuals out there, every time Murtazalayev name comes up, just based off the experience that he has right now, and really no big names, they always try to compare him to a Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? They would compare him to a Terrence Crawford. Why? Because it sounds good based off him beating a fighter that Crawford didn't have the opportunity to step in the square with. He didn't have the opportunity. Who's to say that Crawford wouldn't have did the same thing to Tim Tszyu? And look, we must reflect on Tim Tszyu have been dropped before. But these foreign fighters, you'll find more times than often, is given the check in the box without the competition that we demand from our own fighters over here in the U.S. Over here in the U.S., we demand that they fight 5 to 8 murderers row fighters. And then we scrutinize their performance value, even if they have all stoppages and all wins. We scrutinize the shit out of it. So they give Murtaza, and then Sergey Buachuk goes in there, tough dude, very entertaining. Virgil Ortiz the same, but they go in there and get lit up, right? It's 4th of July every time they step in the ring. They love to bang it out. But then the other guys, like Crawford, who basically employs defense, hit or not get hit. You know, anyone who touches Crawford is up for criticism. Oh my God, he too old. He too old. Did you see that? He too old. But then they praise Murtaza, Buachuk, and Ortiz for getting hit all the time, for getting dropped. But if Crawford gets hit and stays on his feet and wins the fight, they say the opponent that he was in there, Madrimov, was beating him up. And he's criticized. He's put on the cross. All you hear is vilification. But then these fighters that you read on here in Boxing News 24, they are praised for being warriors, for going mano a mano, punch for punch, tit for tat, for showing their toughness. Come on, make it make sense, bro. Make it make sense. They're praised because they was willing to fight through adversity. But you still hear these cats out here spoon feeding whoever will listen about Crawford being hit by Gamboa. That fight was so many years ago. And then you got Igis Kavalauskas so many years ago. But Murtaza comes off a win. And he stops Zoo. I mean, he's the best ever at this point at 154. Oh my God, he'll knock Crawford out. And we're talking about fight fans who's supposed to be educated. They supposed at one point in time been students of the sport. They was the ones that was postured in the desk and they was listening and learning and getting a class and getting educated on the sport, doing film study and all this other shit they say they do. But if that's the case, why when it comes to certain fighters, they exclude their defense and them being hit very little amount of times? And then the ones who go out in an all-out fight, they try to put it on race. They try to say, oh, we like for this race to fight like that. Well, oh, it compliments them. But you criticize black fighters for being defensively sound, elusive, hit or not get hit mentality. You call them boring. You call them, you say they have a lack of entertainment value. They don't sell tickets. They can't put butts in the seats. It's called prejudice. Point blank, period. For anybody to say that, okay, you have competitors who's at the highest tier. Like, it's not too many fighters in the game that has resumes like the Canelos, the Crawfords, the Newies, you know what I'm saying? Multi-division champions right now at the top of their game, right? But let's just talk about pound for pound status. Still, you have Canelo, you have Usyk, Inoue, Crawford. You have all these on the pound for pound list. But yet only 2 out of the 4 is in a position to fight one another. 2 out of the 4. So you take the 2 out of 4 mathematically. You take your finger on one. You start, trying to narrow it down. Like, okay, you take half of this mountain here and here and here. Does it make sense? You're up here doing deductive reasoning. You bring your evidence and try to draw a conclusion. If the evidence fit, and then this, that, then the formula all works together, you're good. That's not the case. Canelo's not trying to move up and fight Alexander Usyk. Naoya Inoue is too small for Crawford. Right? There's only 2, Crawford and Alvarez. And you have individuals acting like they're 3 divisions apart. Now also, we must reflect upon how when you have these people speaking on debates, right? And if you have a solid recall memory, then you can go back and you can name the names of fighters or fights that we've witnessed back in the day, that basically you can use an analogy in comparison to what point you're trying to make as far as fighters stepping up in weight classes, right? They'll be quick to do that in a debate. But let's just say if by chance you have to use an analogy that includes one of your unfavorable fighters, they have to make a choice. They say, do I use this analogy with Crawford because I don't like him at all? Or do I remember on how I was boosting up Errol Spence, who was a division lower than what Crawford is currently seated as a champion now? Errol Spence was at 47, and they wasn't worried about no divisions. Canelo wasn't worried about no divisions. He wasn't saying that Spence was easy and he was light. Give me 150 million. No. Errol Spence was on the chopping block. He was a lamb to the slaughter. They had him lined up on a $100 million roster of 3-fight deal. Crawford would never own anything like that. They was busy up here talking about he's on the other side of the street, right? Lunacy at his best. They was hoorahing to get Errol Spence in there with Errol Spence in there with Canelo Alvarez. And it wasn't but very little criticism because they was bragging about how he walks around at 185, 190. That his fighting style will match up very well against Canelo Alvarez. He's a strong fighter. Knowing that there have been several incidents already of him being out in town, we already know what that is, right? Let me keep going. This article say the Mexican star would perhaps be more open to give the Nebraska native Bud Crawford a title shot if he were courageous enough to move up to super middleweight and defeat 2 or 3 top fighters. 2 or 3 top fighters now. And see, this is why I will not just read through this and keep going. But I will get through the end of this paragraph, right? Defeat 2 or 3 top fighters. Crawford doesn't plan on doing that for obvious reasons. He just wants the Canelo fight given to him, and you can't respect that. Okay. I will go on to finish this. Turkey, and then go back to this. Turkey can make the Canelo Crawford fight happen this year if he offers Alvarez a ton of money that he hasn't seen during his long career. The Mexican star's network is estimated at $250 million. Okay? He said $250 million. $250 million, y'all. $250 million. Now, just so y'all can understand how they boost that up. $250 million. Where you get those numbers at? The Mexican Stars Network. Look. Take your time. Just digest this a little bit. Okay? He say the Mexican Stars Network is estimated at $250 million. So for Alex Sheik to get that fight made, he may need to offer Canelo over $100 million. Okay, so you can never, to caveat to this, you saying you can fight since you was 15 years old and never had a fight where you was paid $100 million, but yet when it comes to a fighter that this idiot is saying that doesn't and isn't deserving of a Canelo Alvarez fight, you're saying that Turki Al-Sheikh needs to basically pay Canelo what he's worth, right? So we don't know how much Crawford has grossed in his boxing career. But what this guy is saying, that Turki Al-Sheikh should pay Canelo the money he's asking for, knowingly on record that he has never made that much money fighting anyone on his career before. So since you don't have anyone present at Canelo, you have nobody present on your boxing resume, your boxing ledger at this point in your career. What are you using? What is the writer using to honor the fact that you're making sense that Canelo deserves $100 million to fight Crawford, a fighter that's moving up 2 weight classes. We're dealing with human beings, right? I mean, we're not talking about retarded human beings. Are we dealing with human beings that may have some type of other disability? Are these human beings a savant in one area of their thought process? Let's just say they're a savant at chopping trees down. That means they're dumb in everything else. Is that the case? Are these people just good at chopping trees down with a butter knife? Or do they have one of those special gifts that a beaver has? They're able to gnaw trees down, but yet they're dumb as shit in everything else. Somebody explain to me, how do we get to a conclusion where out of all Canelo's 65 plus professional fights, if you have never earned in a single fight $100 million versus fighters that people respect you for, people have seen you step through the ropes and they consider them to be respectful, right? None of them fighters have earned you $100 million payday. But y'all keep on saying Crawford is looking for a payday when Crawford isn't the one that's telling Canelo, hey man, in order to fight me, I need $300 million. I'm the A side. I'm the 2 division champ. That's not the case, bro. That's not the case with Canelo. Right? That's not the case. If you go down Canelo's entire roster of names, who has he grossed $100 million in one fight? And if you're unable to locate that information, pay for legal representation so they can do a discovery. If their discovery comes back absent of the information you requested, you need to stop saying that Crawford's looking for a payday when he is not the one that's influencing the $150 million request from Canelo, bro. What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all humans? Y'all acting like y'all really trying to be phased out by these robots, bro. Seriously, y'all acting like y'all are not competent enough to think for yourselves no more. The updates just isn't coming in on a regular basis. How can Crawford be requesting a freaking retirement payday when Canelo is the one that's been on record saying he won 150 for a smaller fighter? It goes on to say, you have to assume that Crawford will want to wet his beak, okay? Wet his beak on at least half of that, if not more. Financially, it doesn't make sense. Crawford isn't a draw, and the fight won't come close to breaking even. They're saying things that they have no evidence of themselves, but they're just typing. You find a lot of cats, even on social media, that would rather type something that's not true. And for somebody to laugh with shock value, I can't believe they put that up there, ha ha ha, rather than be honest about it. And that's why I show no, I'm talking about not a care in the world about what's going on over here with Turkey Island Sheep taking over the sport. Because when it comes to articles like this, when it comes to what we see in our home front, with how we treat our own fighters, how our own fighters are saying F the fans. It's tough. It's tough for these fighters to navigate through the fandom that goes on in the criticism. I think these fighters have to deal with more inclement weather when it comes to the assessment from the consumers rather than sunshine, radiant sunshine. You know what I'm saying? Just basking in the glory of consumers that's loving their favorite fighter and showing them praise. You know what I'm saying? Showing them respect. They have to sit up here and you have people to say, hey, I want to ask the hard question. I want to see, can I get a reaction out of them? I want to see that. Why? Because that's where we at in life right now with this boxing shit. It goes on to say, I want to see Eubank Ben. Also, of course, Tyson Joshua, Moses Ayatuma. deserves to be the youngest heavyweight champion, said Turkey Al Sheikh on Frotch on Fighting YouTube channel about fights he wants to see in 2025. Did y'all hear that? I'll get back to it. He still has 1 year to reach this number. Has until May 19, 2025 to break Mike Tyson's record of becoming the youngest heavyweight champion, Turkey continued. In the American market, I want to see Canelo Crawford. I want to see Garcia Haney, the rematch. Okay? So y'all pay attention to what Turkey Al Sheikh said about raising Moses Ayatuma to become the youngest heavyweight champion, relieve Mike Tyson of that position that he's held for quite some time. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Seriously, don't be mad. Now, let's go back to where they said this fight is just a vehicle for Crawford to get retirement money. What is Canelo doing? Canelo's definitely, on his way out the door sooner or later. But if they keep on giving him money to fight average to mediocre opposition that's not considered equal or greater, he's doing the exact same thing that y'all are complaining that Crawford's doing. Crawford's telling you over and over again about legacy, and how this is a bold-faced lie is the fact that he called out Jermell Charlo prior to him stepping in there and beating Spence. If he never would have called out Jermell Charlo, then I can see out of nowhere him saying, hey, I don't have anything else going on. Let me see what Canelo talking about. No, he's made it a point to make the fans aware that he's all about his legacy. That's what it's always been. He called out Jermell Charlo, who wanted no part of him, except when the mic is posted front and center, and he want to tell him, hey, go finish business with my boy. And then when that's over with, he don't have nothing to say. He disappears. He's even afraid to move up to 160. Jermell Charlo himself is looking for a payday from Crawford. Seriously. That's the only reason why he's not moving up to 60, because there's nothing that's going to get him paid like a fight against Crawford down here. That's facts. There's nothing that's going to get Jermell Charlo paid unless it's a fight with Spence. Who's going to get him paid? Murtazalayev? Oh, they hype him up so good off the Zoo fight. Let's see if Jermell Charlo is able to get a belt and see what those numbers look like. Who's going to be paying for that? Who's gonna finance that fight? I'm just curious. Who's gonna finance that fight? Can somebody help me out? Can somebody help me get down to a conclusion? Who's gonna damn put the money up for Jermell Charlo and Bakram Murtazalayev? Who's gonna put that shit up? Is anybody gonna come see that fight? Do they care? I'm serious. Do they care? He said the performance showed that Terrence isn't cut out for junior middleweight division and will lose eventually. Hey, it's a lot of people that say, Crawford will lose. But they lose out every time when they don't get what they want. Sometimes when you put stress first, instead of just being genuinely a boxing fan and going in there with intent, say, hey, I'm going for this fighter. It's okay to have your favorite fighter, cool. But when you have preconceived, prerequisites that you want to happen, and they're all nefarious, don't feel no type of way when you're disappointed. You're angry and mad that you didn't get what you want. Look, the scar tissue is never going to heal anytime soon from 2023. But just the fact that it's still residual anxiety that's going on with these boxing fans. They're still hoping and wishing the worst for a fighter who absolutely did nothing to him. And you know what I found out a while ago about these fans leading up? They're really truly Crawford fans, but in a weird, unorthodox type of manner. They wish to behave as if they want to run smear campaigns and defame his name just to get attention. It's almost like them trying to use reverse psychology. They want to fuck with Crawford with criticism, but yet They really respect that he is a dangerous fighter. And they had nothing more but to respect it once he went in there and destroyed Spence. And the PTSD that they're still suffering from to this day, they don't have any type of freaking what they call that, emergency action plan, y'all, EAP. They have no type of EAP to impede his progress for legacy moving forward. Nothing. And that's why this right here is so important, that Turkey Al-Sheikh is over there talking to Canelo Alvarez, bro. That means a lot. Look, Canelo's not over there to ask for a fight, a rematch with freaking Edgar Berlanga. He's not trying to get a second fight with Jamel Charlo, John Ryder, Haney Munguia, who just got knocked out by the Frenchman. He's not over there. Turkey would laugh in his face. Excuse me, Canelo. I didn't mean to spit my wine in your face. That was hilarious. You mentioned Haney Munguia. You know, we have a lot of money, but we don't have that type of money to squander on fights the fans don't want to see, even if it was in their dreams, okay? Even if it was in his dreams, they wouldn't want that fight. So who are you coming over here for? No, they're not. Turkey already knows why Canelo is over there. Turkey is working for the Turkey Express. The Turkey Al-Sheikh Express of royalty. He is, in a short period of time, attempting to rewrite history books. And he already said, well, to him, he's trying to get him a heavyweight championship this year so he can break Mike Tyson. That's going to be another record that the U.S. boxing doesn't have. That was a part of our history. Iron Mike held that record forever and a day, bro. They trying to get Moses on deck as the next best, not Jared Anderson, not Richard Torres. But you have these individuals that are so hell bent on talking about Wilder and Crawford when we have pages that used to be bookmarked strictly for U.S. bragging rights. That shit, Turkey is out there snatching that shit away from us. He has the Ring magazine where a lot of people selected to resource certain information off of. He's removed the WBA off of BoxRec, right? I mean, he's basically have total affiliation with damn near every promotion, right? And you're gonna hear these voices crying and saying, "Oh man, I don't like Turkey because the fights that we can have as history over here, he's gonna have them over there in Saudi." He's basically setting up certain fights to happen that's gonna benefit another country rather than the U.S. Well, what do you expect? Y'all didn't give a fuck about the ones who set the records to begin with, man. Y'all didn't give a fuck about the records being set. People try to go up here and set records and you shit on them. Crawford, perfect example. Perfect fucking example. When they said Wilder was tied with Muhammad Ali for freaking title defenses, people laughed. When Crawford picked up 2 division undisputed, the ones who didn't give him a chance in hell, they was forced to bend the knee and kiss the motherfucking ring. But then, less than weeks passed by, Madrimov coming to the picture. They're back to hating once again, full time. Full time. And you know, how labor intensive that is mentally? You know how labor intensive that is? Check this out. Not even that. But Canelo, right? Canelo is from a different country. We're talking about a large group of U.S. boxing fans that's willing to ostracize their own fighter that was born in the good old US of A to support a fighter from another country. And it's always this. They'll say, oh, WCS, they can support who they want to support. No, that's not how the Mexican fans work. The Mexican fans will tell you to their face, if it's a Mexican and it's a black fighter on a fight of this magnitude, they're not rocking with Crawford. They're rocking for Canelo. Because if Canelo wins, it highlights the country. If Crawford wins, it highlights his fans base. It highlights Nebraska. It highlights those who rock with him heavy, not his country. And at this point in time, people don't care. They act like they get offended when you start to police the rhetoric that they put out there. They get offended, bro. When you out here policing that shit, they say, no. This has to be sanitized. You can't allow yourself to continue to go out here and grandstand and act like Crawford isn't doing something that deals with legacy. Y'all are mad because he is getting paid for services. Isn't that what the Ali Act says? A fighter cannot fight for free. So when a fighter is not allowed to fight for free and they want to go in the fight camp and train for a fight and get compensated for what? They're getting compensated for their what? Their labor, for their profession that they're licensed to compete in. They're getting paid for it. Like some of you go out every day and work. You're getting paid for your labor. So Crawford goes out here and he wants to get paid for his labor. And it just happened to be versus a person that he has said not how much he wants to get paid, but simply Crawford has made it a point to say, I want to fight Canelo Alvarez. Just like he said Jermell Charlo. But you juggle the two, no one gives a fuck about Jermell Charlo being in conversation with Crawford. It's so much, they so scared they even talk and commit themselves to that. They don't even bring up Jermell Charlo. But they will bring up Canelo. Yeah. Every time, Santa Canelo comes into the picture, it doesn't even have to be December. You see all these Canelo fans want to sit in his lap and brush his cinnamon hair. That's all they want to do. Massage his ego. That's all. Feed him grapes, cheese, and crackers. Because Crawford has requested to fight the guy that you say that's top pound for pound. Legacy. He wants to go up there and fight. And they're complaining about him getting compensated. That's why I'm glad Turkey Al-Sheikh is taking this shit over, because you can't speak of money no more like it's at home. The money has left the building. The money has left the fucking building, idiots. You cannot sit up here and talk about money like you used to, because Turkey Al-Sheikh is in control. He's at the helm. He's making the calls. While U.S. boxing fans are being left behind in the motherfucking dust. All this comfort zone that we have for boxing. And that shit has over. Turkey is trying to get the best fights on deck, and some of those fights may include him going above and beyond to help fighters erase some of the records that we've held over here in the U.S. Forget a heavyweight freaking champion. Moses is over across the pond, and the Turk is getting behind Moses. Where's Jared Anderson, goddammit? Where's the Olympian Richard Torres? We need our U.S. champions to get that boost. Where? Where are they? We don't fucking know. We're about to be out 10 years easy. We already 5 on deck. We already 5 on deck easy without a heavyweight champion. Easy. What does it look like through the optics moving forward in the next 5 to 10 years for the heavyweight? You hear him talk about Moses. I like Moses, man. They would rather cheer for a guy they don't know once again than the ones that's actually in their hometown that has a limping pedigree You know what I'm saying? Jared Anderson get knocked out once. It's not like he bitched out. He actually fought. He tried his best. He got lit up. It happens in boxing. But you have fighters like Anthony Joshua. He gets lit up all the time. And you have the audacity to come back and talk about Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua fight. Are you fucking serious? Could you imagine if Crawford was knocked out like Anthony Joshua? Because Crawford usually is the one who's delegating the knockouts, like Daniel Dubois. Could you imagine Crawford getting stopped like Joshua and the conversation arising for Crawford to face Canelo after coming off a knockout loss? Like Eddie Hearns is trying to boost up Tyson Fury to fight Anthony Joshua after coming off that brutal destruction from Dubois? Get the fuck out of here, man. Are y'all insane? Are y'all in fucking insane? What? Do you think they'll give that shit the time of day without bringing up the knockout? Oh, he's done. You hear him? Deontay Wilder about to fight on BLK Prime. Deontay Wilder about to fight. What about Joshua, Joe? Joshua got destroyed. Blitz, flatline. Thor's hammer to the face. Splat. This dude was terminated. But yet you barely hear a peep. Because the hatred resides right here in the U.S., a place, a crater that used to be for American boxing. It's no longer. We don't have control. We have relinquished control. Our authority is minimized when it comes to the ebbs and flows of boxing and having a presence in the sport. It's been minimized. It's been minimized. And then the rumor mill of Top Rank not being with ESPN anymore. Y'all fight fans are right where you should be over here. You're right where you should be. You've been followers for quite some time, talking shit about these U.S. fighters. And now these U.S. fighters are going over there where the money's at. And if that means Matchroom and everybody else outside of the U.S. grid, then be satisfied with it. Be satisfied, because it's definitely going to hurt the YouTube Central. It's definitely going to hurt it. It's going to be a lot of areas and divisions that's not going to benefit U.S. boxing. Man, that boxing across the pond and in them other countries, boy, them fighters about to love life for a minute. Seriously, they're about to love life, yo. This shit is about to change for good. Yeah, you can go over there and get a paycheck. We're talking about legacy. We're talking about history. We're talking about rewriting the books. We're talking about finally getting the fights that we want, and it's going to be tough fights. You're not going to be able to have your fighter skating around here without taking tough fights over there with Turki Al-Sheikh. It's not going to fucking happen. But we want to talk about Terrence Crawford requesting a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Alvarez is the sole proprietor of mentioning 150 million, but humans, casual to temporary boxing fans, continue to speak on Crawford as if he's the one going around here mentioning 150 million. You keep speaking about the man wanting retirement, but all he did was call out Canelo Alvarez for a fight. And even the ones that's criticizing Crawford seem to make us fully aware that it was too many times that they was in in-house detention, facing a wall, wearing that big cap, because you just couldn't pay attention in the regular class and keep up. You're proving to the people that you just wasn't paying attention to everything that was going around. You didn't educate yourself in boxing enough. When you went through the critical period of learning, you was playing around. Why can't you comprehend The man is asking for a Canelo Alvarez fight. Canelo is requesting big paycheck. Payday, payday, payday. He is the one you should be using that towards, not Crawford. Canelo is requesting an amount of money that he never made with any other opposition in his entire professional career. But yet you blame Crawford as if it's reversed, as if somehow, some way, transparently, you're confused on how to interpret and translate English. Maybe there's some type of prescription you can get from your primary care. Some Adderall, Ritalin. You need something. Prevagen. Crawford is requesting a fight, and you all are talking about the wrong numbers. The numbers that the haters are talking about is that 2 divisions. Imagine how high of a value is 150 versus 2. Crawford is requesting to fight Canelo 2 divisions, 60, 68 higher than the one he currently campaigns at. 2. Subtract from 150. You're talking about 148? That's if we're just doing simple mathematical subtraction. 148 still resides within the equation. 2 divisions versus 148 million. 2 divisions versus 148 million. Crawford is requesting to face a pound-for-pound fighter, which he has already fought on his freaking boxing ledger in Errol Spence Jr. He is requesting to fight another pound-for-pound fighter. But I guess Crawford doesn't have the complexion. He's not a fan favorite. Deontay Wilder was criticized for his fragmentation when it comes to the boxing fundamentals. And Crawford has those fundamentals. Deontay Wilder was criticized for being a one-trick pony with the right hand. But Crawford has both hands. Switch hitter. Very multifaceted. Diverse. Very high boxing IQ. He has an A in all the areas that you was grading Wilder an F. Right? And you don't see yourself with a high concern when you're staring in that mirror after getting offline, doing a live stream, knowing you went out there and said some total bullshit? You're basically co-signing. You're advocating for this type of behavior. He's asking to fight someone 2 divisions higher. And these individuals in the U.S. are criticizing him not for requesting 150 million to fight Canelo, but to basically go up 2 divisions. Not 1, but only 2. 2 divisions and fight a pound-for-pound fighter. Y'all don't deserve to have control of the U.S. boxing footprint. You don't deserve to have control based off what Turkey Al-Sheikh has seized. You don't deserve it because of simple shit like this. It's all fun and games when y'all listen to me talk. You can criticize the shit out of me. I'm not the one at the table. I'm not the one doing any type of contract. I'm not putting that type of effort in. I'm speaking to y'all. Crawford never requested 150 million. How dumb you have to be to process that information? It's basic. Somebody help me help myself. I just need to know. What type of rank structure are we talking about here? Look, the chain of command has changed over here for the U.S. boxing. It's changed. Look how everyone mentioned Turkey Al-Sheikh. It was no one name that they was mentioning over here in the U.S. footprint. It was never one. They have one face, one name, and they don't even know what the fuck he's doing. They don't know if Turkey Al-Sheikh a manager, an advisor, a promoter. A chief financial officer? They say, oh, Turkey Al Sheik is not a promoter. Okay. But every time Riyadh season come up, who do they mention? You remember that song, those of you that grew up back then? You remember that song that the hook said, who do you love? They ask you, who do you love? I'm asking you, who do you love? Because the boxing ain't never had a president, right? A governing body. But it seems like that's what we get when we have Riyadh season. We don't know who everybody else is, but we know who Turkey Al Sheik is. We know who Turkey Al Sheik is, yo. Facilitate that. Look, Turkey Al Sheik is almost like the boxing president right now. When have you ever heard one single name be spoken on? The aura, the whole vibe has changed. But yet y'all still talking about Crawford and what he don't deserve? Are y'all not looking around and listening to them trying to get Moses to break Tyson's record? Are y'all not looking at the history that's going to go away if Turkey continue to put on these freaking fights? Are you looking at the forecast on how long the US is going to be without a heavyweight champion? The glamour division? The glamour division is going to be without a heavyweight champion. Have you been reading anything from these media segues about the next heavyweight hope? Forget the white hope. The next heavyweight hope. Have you heard it? The next U.S. heavyweight hope. Are you hearing any rumblings? Have you read any articles, y'all? Have you opened any gum wrappers and they showed you? Well, if you crack open this freaking cookie right here, this fortune cookie, it says that you will have your next heavyweight champion in 2066. Good luck with that. You got motherfuckers cracking fortune cookies off their head trying to find out when the next heavyweight champion is going to be on deck. Done. Over. It's over. Y'all wanted Wilder out of the picture so freaking bad, bro. Let me get to the chat. Man, shout out to everybody that's in the building. You already know what it is. Mike on deck, CJ Rich on deck. Do you consider Turkey himself a promoter? He's not a promoter. Now, since you asked me, do I consider the position that he's holding? I would assume, because every time, like you mentioned certain people like Eddie Hearns, Eddie Hearns name come up all the time because that's what he is. Frank Warren, you come in here, you hearing these, Al Heyman, Bob Arum, freaking Oscar. You hear all these names where you used to hear them. But now, Turkey Al Sheik, he's not a promoter. But considering the way his name is broadcasted, it's almost like he's bigger than a promoter, bro. Because when have you seen a promoter name be mentioned where people just look at him as being the controlling authority over so many areas of boxing? Like this dude, they consider him the matchmaker of all matchmakers. They talk about Turkey Al Sheik like he's matchmaking these fights. Oh man, Turkey Al Sheik is gonna listen to their language. Solid question. Solid question. Shout out to the OG Mr. Golden on deck. What's good, man? Hope you wasn't out there, you know what I'm saying, at your age trying to goddamn do snowman up in there and end up them getting hypothermia there, Golden. Real. That's what happens when you're the best. They got to dig in the crates and still reference a 10-year-old Gamboa. Talk to him, bro. They got to dig in the crates, man. They got to find out which crate. They go all the way to the back. You know what I'm saying? They got to break open crates to get that damn negative information. Shout out to the News by Shaw News, man. Sauce Experience, Team Tucker Fish on deck. I see y'all there getting it. What's good with it, man? Shout out to Arnold in the building. Shout out to Christopher White in the building. What's good with it? He say, I love how you break it down, man. WCS, salute. Appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you always coming through as always. Everybody else to show up. Appreciate y'all. We in 2025. I'm just trying to make people aware of the obvious. They've spent too much time talking about a fighter they don't like when Turkey Al-Sheikh is out here making fight cards happen. Out here, every time Turkey Al-Sheikh has an event, you don't hear shit about people complaining, man, I went over there and I had to sleep in the car. No. You know what I'm saying? Even the Haneys. It has some good feedback and some bad feedback. But they definitely went over there to London. They've been talking about what Crawford shouldn't do, But guess who's in that goddamn photo? How? How is Canelo over there in London hugging it up with Turkey Al-Sheikh with a smile on his face? Man, come on, bro. Look, if Canelo gets $100 million to fight Crawford, what in the hell does that say about Crawford? You need $100 million, and these goofy fans of yours is not gonna hold you accountable for outpricing yourself. That's the difference between Turkey Al-Sheikh and a promoter over here. A promoter over here in the U.S. would have never entertained Canelo to fight Crawford like that. But Turkey Al-Sheikh is on a whole nother stratosphere in his position. You know what I'm saying? He holding a different position amongst the constellation. This is not Earth shit we talking about. He's in space, goddammit. Turkey Al-Sheikh is up there with the constellation. He's dealing with a different set of stars, bro. He is maneuvering in a galaxy different. Shit that we didn't see down here in the U.S. on Earth. Turkey is making that shit work easy. Easy, yo. You have, look, I don't doubt any fighter that selects to go look for the bag, because at the end of the day, isn't that your profession? A lot of these fighters get to make a deployment over there to Saudi for the first time. They get to see what the living quarters like. Even the teams. The teams get to go over to Saudi and go to these deployments to foreign countries and get to see what it's like. It's different. When the budget, you don't have to worry about somebody being cheap. Yo, I've seen some fighters in some roach hotels. I'm pretty sure you ain't going to be in no roach hotel over there in Saudi. I'm pretty sure it's going to be fighters over there. Hey, I wonder, can we sit down and talk? They talking to their managers like, hey, is there any way you can get me in Riyadh? Please. Please. Can you get me in Riyadh? Hold on for a second, y'all. Man, shout out the band in the building. What's good, WCS in the hottest chat? Just tuning in. Did you see the photo of Al-Sheikh and Canelo? Cinco de Crawford. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Look at the Ring Mag. When have you ever seen the Ring this active on X? The Ring has come back to life, yo. Not just putting in a search engine inquiry. The Ring magazine is in your mother effing face right now. It's active. You know what I'm saying? The Ring is back, yo. Shout out to Carlos Rosado in the building, bro. What's good with it, Carlos? Salute to you, man. Shout out to Ben in the building. What's good? I see you on deck. So that's my biggest question to the fight fans. You know, this is an old picture of Haney, who was also over there in London. Shout out to them. This was 2019. You know what I'm saying? This is 2019. I just put it up here to basically what he has. The fight will show who Devin Haney versus. I'll showcase my skills and show my full arsenal. Look at that. That's Showbox, y'all. The only reason I put it up there because if indeed he gets over there with Turk Al-Sheikh, which I believe he's going to have some bigger fights. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think. But to this right here, Turk Al-Sheikh has named 5 fights. I believe deep down inside he can make these fights happen. That right there could be his own card. That right there is one of them incredible freaking rosters. I mean, that's his own card right there. I don't see Usyk fighting on anybody's undercard. You know what I'm saying? Especially beating Fury twice. I don't see it happening. You know? But all of them outside of Eubanks and Ben can be main event. 4 out of the 5 can be main events. You know, I mean, in certain cases, I mean, there's certain people who want to see Eubank and Ben fight. I mean, I'm not too hyped up on that. But let's go over here to I wanna bring up something right quick. I want you all to hear something. I want to get your take on something right quick, okay?
Hello, Tick. Hello, Mama.
Phil, is that you?
Yeah.
I got you, champ. Also, can you sign my...
What the f... Fuck you.
Well, certain people, you know, like I said before, you know, when it comes to media, you know, some people can you know, get some laughs here and there. Definitely at this point in time, I can care less which route he takes, but I'm pretty sure that Canelo's over there trying to put in a word for Tio, even though Tio has bad mouthed Turkey Al-Sheikh. You know, he's bad mouthing, and that's where the money is at. I'm not saying that they're going to be the ones to grow, but if he's with Eddie Reynoso and Canelo, I'm sure that there's going to be some type of benefit of Canelo being over there, not only just to speak about potential fight with Crawford, because that is the priority for him to talk about that fight, but also to basically be a babysitter for Tio to try to get him a big money fight. Seriously. You know what I'm saying? Tio at this point in time, he's being micromanaged, bro. He tried on his own back in the day with Vasily Lomachenko, but somehow, you know, fell off the cart, you know, and he hasn't been able to get back on that. You know, they keep bucking him off. So now he's riding on the coattails of Canelo Alvarez, who also he was clout chasing Crawford. So, you know, how this materializes is going to be interesting. Also, I want to speak about a potential fight that they keep throwing out there, like I mentioned earlier in this live stream, about Errol Spence Jr. Does anyone in the chat, can they confirm or deny that this fight is going to be taking place in March potentially. Um, I really don't want to put out any false information for this fight exactly, because you've heard so much out there already. You know what I'm saying? Hold on for a second. The title eliminated. Okay, but who out there has heard anything different? I know there's some PBC heads out there. You know what I'm saying? Has anybody else heard anything about, you know, March 29th actually being something that's official? Because I'm starting to get the little vibes that Crawford may have turned Spence into Casper the Ghost. Has anybody heard about this potential matchup? Let me share screen right quick. Let's talk about this briefly. Okay? Let's talk about this briefly. I keep on just hearing rumors, and I'm saying to myself, when is it going to happen? So they say Errol Spence versus Sebastian Fundora, March 29th fight in Las Vegas. So they're going to be in Las Vegas. And when you know Chris Williams, let's see what positive shit he has to say about Errol Spence. It says WBC WBO junior middleweight champion Sebastian Fundora will fight Errol Spence tentatively scheduled for March 29th in Las Vegas. The fight is still under negotiation. The former unified welterweight champion Spence, 28-1, 22 knockouts, will have been inactive for 20 months when his fight with the towering 21-1 and 113 knockouts occurs. Spence posted on Instagram that there is no fight on March 29th date. He didn't say when the fight will happen, but it's got to be soon. He already been out of the ring for a year and a half. Pushing this fight into the second half of 2025 would be a waste of time. They say Spence is coming off a ninth round knockout loss to Terrence Bud Crawford on July 29, 2023. Errol took a lot of punishment in that fight and was never competitive at all. He was in round one, he was competitive. The fight should have been halted in the sixth round because it was obvious that Spence wasn't competitive and taking a one-way beating. He made Crawford look a lot better than he actually is at this late stage of his career. Terrence hadn't been looking that good in his previous fights over the last 3 years, but against the depleted looking Spence, he looked brand new. So once again, this is why I love reading their articles, because we're talking about someone who was on a stopping spree. Crawford was on a stopping spree. You know what I'm saying? And the praise, the highlight, I wouldn't say the praise, the highlight from that stopping spree was only notated at 154 pounds when Madrimov and him went the distance. I can see if they were saying that, hey, we was shocked. But Crawford never basically put it out there to anybody that he was a knockout artist. He was just on a stopping spree. From Jeff Horn all the way to Errol Spence Jr. It goes on to say physically, he didn't look like the fighter he'd been in 2018 and early in his career. Some believe that the combination of injuries that Spence sustained in his car crash in 2019, sparring, inactivity, weight gain, and age has sapped a lot out of him. All the excuses, huh? Fundora, 6'5", is coming off a long layoff himself, having last fought on April 30th, 2024, defeating WBO 154-pound champion Tim Tszyu by a 12-round split decision. That was a grueling fight for both, leaving Tszyu a bloody mess due to a head clash early in the fight. So you see, that's where he ended it with Fundora. He didn't even bring up the fact that Fundora was coming off a knockout loss to Brian Mendoza. It's just, that's where the media has always been. They puppetize the readers and consumers with very polluted information, and they don't care. They say it's up to them to figure out the percentage of bias that I'm disseminating out to them. It's up to them. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you taste a drink or something, it's up to you to know if you need more sugar or don't. Or when you order an alcoholic beverage and it's a mixed drink, to see if you just put a little bit less of this in there, a little bit less alcohol, but more of a sweet and sour sauce or whatever, margarita mix, whatever the case may be. I mean, they don't care. Real talk. But he didn't mention anything about Fundora being knocked out. But at the end of the day, this is my only take on this with Spence. I would definitely like to see him step in the ring. If he's going in there against Fundora, I'm definitely going for Spence. I would truly like to see him have one of those combat, so we can kind of shake up the 154-pound division and take the attention away from, Bud Crawford, who's on his way out the sport. Somehow build up another rival with Spence and somebody else. Jamel Charlo. And they're not in the same gym, but black fighters love being Build-A-Bear buddies. So we don't know if they'll ever fight each other. We don't know, but I would like to see some type of rivalry. You have Murtaza Aliyev, you have Fundora, Crawford. It'd be good if he can go in there and beat Fundora. Do I believe it can happen? No, I'm not. I'm not sure. I'm not certain about that. I'm not certain if I have confidence to say that Spence can beat Fundora. I'm not confident. And I don't think if I was to take a drink straight to the head of Mad Dog 2020, I don't think in my vision, in hindsight, would even be 2020. For real. My hindsight or foresight, if I was to take it to the head, I don't think it'll even clear up anything in me believing that Spence will have an opportunity to beat Fundora. I don't see it. Looks like everyone is having a good time in London. The Crawford and Alex Sheik haters are sick right now. Oh, yeah, you know that. Come on, man. You know that. Look, I haven't heard not one person complain about Turkey Alex Sheik's reservations, his lodging. Not one person. I haven't not heard one person argue about the spread that he may have over there. Not one person. Hey, we know we need our own investigative team to basically to validate that info. You know what I'm saying? We need our own investigative team. Clearly, no qualification of boxing knowledge is required to write article nowadays. Yeah, for sure, man. You know what I'm saying there? You hit it on the head. It's almost like when I was writing articles for this mag, they told me to have integrity, but don't write a novel. Don't make it to like it's a novel, but to have a little bit of integrity. And we had to submit 3 articles a week. 3 articles a week. They said no novels, have a little bit of integrity. But them people over Boxing News 24, they have very minimal integrity. I'm gonna be honest with you, very minimal. But a shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Yeah, I'm at my hour and a half over, but we should do it again. Enjoy y'all weekend. Continue to support. I'm out.